the Opino Kidi. If I back on everyone, I think one more. Say no more.
How best can we talk about the challenges we are having on our streets, our community, our society in general? Street report. If we do not address these challenges on Ebonadi FM, who will? As the happenings around us get as complicated as they can be.
Our government,
Whatever. Street report is here to make sense of it all. Street report is causing social change across your streets. In your community, Street Report is here with hardcore journalism to get to the roots of our problem. Why don't you join me, Martin Ifeanyi, as number the force every Friday, 4:30 p.m. on Ebonadi 103.5 FM as Street Reports unfolds in your face. On Emas Ebonadi corner 24/7, 24/7.
Hi, I am Martin Ifeanyi. Say my name to define mass media, and it is defined. I am Martin, journalist to the core, a broadcaster, if you will. I am Martin, the film director. I am Martin, producer. CKC call me metal or mobile piggy. Osuma call me metal. For know me as the lyrical killer. Okoko calls me Papoa. Whenever I look at the sky from here, I think the most high was good.
Ebonadi FM, 24 hours of informative, educative, and entertainment programs. Can't stop, won't stop. On Ebonadi 103.5 FM.
Okay, guys, thank you. Like, subscribe, and share. Right, hit the subscribe button right here. Remember to check out this book on Amazon.com. Hip Hop and Igbo Culture by yours faithfully, Martin Ifeanyi. Is you alright? You rock. Stick around. The Street Report coming your way right about it. You gotta go. Stay with me. It's about time. Nebon at the 103.5 FM, the time for ombudsmanship, the time to play the role of ombudsmanship, the time to cause social change on our streets, in our society today. Now, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, means a lot to Southeasterners. And why is that? Because, he's very outspoken about the challenges that we face as, Southeasterners of, this country, because he speaks up, about those things that most people are scared. Talking about those things, they are very scared talking about that in the first place, Now, that's the reason why, the likes of Mbazulika Mechi, the boy is good, and Ezife, we are also very outspoken about asking the federal government to release Nnamdi Kanu unconditionally. So what are we talking about? We're talking about the marginalization of the Igbo people in Nigeria. It is real. We are talking about it. It's something that we can relate to. Yes, good evening and welcome to another wonderful spirit and knowledge filled edition of Street Report on Ebona the 103.5 FM. I am Martin Ifan Shuku Ekezi as I number the force, the one them I call Metal. Now, apart from Mbazulike Amechi and Ezife, the late Mbazulike Amechi and Ezife, another person that asked for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is the governor of Anambra State, Governor Chukwu Machar Soludo. And he did that because he understands how instrumental Nnamdi Kanu will be in the issue of insecurity in the southeast. Yet, the brother to Nnamdi Kanu is not, satisfied with all of that, and that's why he wrote an open letter to southeast governors. Now, ever since the demise of the boy is good, I'm talking about Mbazulike Amechi, the late Mbazulike Amechi, one of the great Zikists. When you talk about the movement of, Nnamdi Azikiwe, he is one of the people that were there. Like he got his name, the boy is good, from, something that played out in those days. When somebody wanted to, stab Nnamdi Azikiwe at a time, he was the one that was there to rescue, held the person and started screaming for Igbo people to come to the And just the way, Mbazulike Amechi looked out for Nnamdi Azikiwe back in the days, that's the way he continues to look out for Igbo people, and most especially somebody like Nnamdi Kanu now. He spoke, before his demise, he spoke, extensively about the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Mbazulike Amechi, speaking on behalf of the Igbo greats, representatives of Igbo greats, actually, because there are so many of them across the globe, pleaded for amnesty for Nnamdi Kanu. This request must have been made in full knowledge of the fact that a political solution is indeed possible under the circumstances, as opposed to a strictly legal or authoritarian approach, and that whereas the former could result in healing, reconciliation, a sense of justice and accommodation, when in the past the Nigerian government relied on heavy-handed choices, the country ended up paying a heavy price. You remember the trial and murder of Ken Saro-Wiwa in November 1995. Against all counsel to the contrary, the Abacha military junta went ahead and killed Ken Saro-Wiwa on November 10th, 1995. Nigeria has not yet recovered from that era of judgment. Now, decades after, the world continues to memorize Ken Sarowiwa and the ideals for which he lived, fought, and for which he ultimately paid the supreme sacrifice. The right of the Ogoni people to self-determination, their right of control over their own resources, and the need to sanction the abuse of the environment by the oil multinationals. In contrast, the men who ordered his death, those who dance on his grave, are either dead or forgotten. Their legacy, a faint memory of shame and evil. Sarowiwa was a champion of his people's rights to be treated fairly and justly. And that is exactly what, Nnamdi Kanu represents today. But looking at the way things are going today, a lot of people are asking questions. Is this what is going to happen to him? The way things are playing out, but that might be the case. And then people like Governor Chukwu Masoludo, acting as the leader of the Igbo people, because that step alone have made him the leader now. When it comes to both Southeast governors, the leadership of the Igbo people, for him to ask the federal government to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to him, he's the one that took that bold step. Now, with all of that, Nnamdi Kanu's brother is not happy about everything that is going on now. Nnamdi Kanu's brother blasts Southeast governors over IPOB leaders' incarceration. Now, Prince Emmanuel Kanu, younger brother of the detained leader of the indigenous people, Nnamdi Kanu, has carpeted the 5 governors of the Southeast over their silence on the prolonged detention of the agitator. In an open letter to the governors, Emmanuel said it was unfortunate that under their watch, his brother has been wrongfully held against his will and his fundamental human rights violated. The letter reads, "I am writing this with utmost urgency and deep concerns regarding the unlawful and unjust detention of my brother Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in recent events. It has become abundantly clear my brother, a law-abiding citizen and a prisoner of conscience, has been wrongfully held against his will and his fundamental human rights have been violated under your watch. As a concerned family member, I implore you to rectify this grave injustice without delay. Kanu is a man of impeccable character and a strong advocate for justice, freedom, and equality. He has consistently stood up for the righteous causes in our society, challenging the status quo and working tirelessly to bring about positive change. It is truly disheartening to witness his unwavering commitment to safeguarding human rights being met with such callousness and disregard for basic principles of justice. The details surrounding my brother's arrest and subsequent detention are deeply troubling and indicative of a systemic failure within our justice system. The charges brought against him are baseless and appear to be nothing more than an attempt to silence his voice and undermine his campaign for social justice. His detention is politically motivated, solely aimed at suppressing his activism and preventing him from continuing his valuable contribution to our society. As a concerned family member, I strongly condemn the unlawful detention of my brother and the blatant violation of his rights. It is your duty as governor to ensure the protection of every individual's civil liberties, regardless of their beliefs or affiliations. Your obligation to uphold the principles of justice and fairness should guide your action in every decision made. The letter goes on and on and on, but the thing here is that he is dismayed at the happenings, what is going on now, the way things are unfolding now. But if you look at what his brother is saying, it looks as if, ever since the demise of Mbazulika Amechi and Ezife as well, it seems as if like there is no more voice speaking out to ask for the release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, except for Benjamin Kalu, who is now coming up with a political solution. But we will talk about all of this on this particular edition of Street Report on Ebona, the 103.5 FM. I remain Martin Ifeanyi Shuku. Stick around with this one and I'll be right back.
Udo, Femelo Chassi, Soludo, Wada Sindo, Baede Udo, Choice of Yawalato,
No more, sir.
The boys coming too. When it's lies, then I do. Muhabura Jew. So the team I can go to school. Be keeping it cool. If you ain't taking money, if you not cover, go from boo. Not a road by spectacle. You're paying a little man. What I tell us straight from my street. So, my homeboys are that. When I got busy, I know more about that team and I'm going to Venezia. I need a different in Piana. So when you're Badania, Papayalia, Papachana, Molana, Aspanaya, Wawa, if you could now, Wawa, Paki wine, Excellent Kwa, and Wawa, now we making dollar bills. Hey, kind of while you see dollar hills, per day, 21 million on a meal, cut the deal, make it eat like you on the grill, baby. Utuada Sindo, Utuada Udo, Femelo Chassi, Soludo, Dresse, Utuada Sindo, Baede Udo, Choice of Yawalato, no more say, I bet you the memoir, Utuada Sindo. Utuada Sindo, Utuada Sindo. If you name it up, you no for one neck. See, Memorano Piweka. You can see the one cat, you know, men no paro, men to go maba, men catch your peda, wada, Kataba, Rola Villa Junction, my function, and you pass, men can they go down or tanta, the passas, men no more, Rumu, you beg it was the one and open the fire, Guru Shaggy, I had 3 on a 3-3, and you know the cocoa to come over, and the Buga de Poroko, no cocoa, boys to Nemo, boys to the leg, the tear door, nobody, when I come away, whom would you know the road, what if I want to GLA, housing, Humasa, Pipila, Wada, Sindo, Utuade, Udo, Femelo Chassi, Soludo, Dresse, Wada, Sindo, Baede, Udo, Choice of Yawalato, no more, say, I guys, the memoir, Wada, Sindo, Wada, Sindo, Wada, Sindo, the next time you're gonna have to Marys. My phone go away, kind let me have a say, the phone where I chat, really go to Moseka, Manaka, check out the phone, and I come for plus and getting out of Muna number, Bacanata, Baza, arrive the read, arrive the Jejina, the voice that tweeted, I didn't know but Jejina, I got it, don't really buying this only able for the no, one and one, almost 3 the 59 what's the idea? I can't almost jump back. My distance, you know, not Hali Luguna, Bokunu can follow me, Kuno, you cannot yapa. I feel like I see Kunumas and Mamas, Malika wants to buy, nigga, more manas. And you got that work. I want to live it on and it's me. It's 9 cars. Without your ability, but that's not going to wear it for it. And you still tired of that's the way we do. And I'm telling God, I never come busy. I think that I'm going to wear it for it. Come on.
Yes, it looks as if since the demise of Mbazulike Amechi, the boy is good, and Ezife, it looks as if there is no more voice. You know, speaking out, though, you know, we will separate people like Benjamin Kalo, the governor of Anambra State, too, you know, Governor Chukuma Charles Soludo. And when I say Benjamin Kano, I mean the deputy speaker of, you know, the House of Assembly. A lot to talk about the House of Reps. I beg your pardon. While they were alive, late Chief Mbazika Amechi and the late Chief Ezife, the only, persons that were very proactive in seeking for this release of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu in the manner that they did. Today, the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Benjamin Kanu, has disclosed that frantic efforts are ongoing to secure the release of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. He said that while the court processes are ongoing, political solutions are being worked out. Speaking at the special edition of the Ben Carlos Mandate, a program of flew in Omahia, and he says other states on Monday, virtually, the deputy speaker said that he was deliberate to work behind the scene to realize the objective. He says Kanu's clarification come on the heels of an inquiry by the program anchor who said that the Peace in Southeast project, PICE-P, a recently launched initiative of the Deputy Speaker, which calls for a non-kinetic measure to resolve the security challenges in the Southeast, has abandoned the IPOB leader. While calling for the support for the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, the Deputy Speaker also hinted of a likely visit by the elders of Igbo land to engage President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on familiar issues affecting the Southeast. He said the Peace in Southeast project has a reconciliation in the mix of what we are trying to achieve. We will recognize the importance of our brother Nnamdi Kanu in the peace agenda we are pushing. That's the truth, and I have been very vocal about it. I am not hiding, he said. So you see that somebody like Honorable Benjamin Kanu is living up to expectation when it comes to asking the federal government to release Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. But one thing is for sure, he is not alone in the move. He is also working with other Igbo leaders. At the end of the day, some people might just question what are others doing and all of that. But there are people working, underground that you can't even tell what they are doing. But most people are, trying to compare this issue with that of the agitator as well. I'm talking about Sunday Igboho now from the southwest as well. The fact that he's walking free now and in detention. Anyway, this is where I will wrap it up now because of some unforeseen issues. But on the subsequent editions of this program, we'll get to talk more on this. Stick with everyone at the 103.5 FM. I remain Martin Ifan Shuku Ekeze. Stay with us.
You know the name already. Zero, call me swag bad, before you might get new